Alright guys, so I just fed them. So yeah, they like those super worms. We get them as fresh as possible, you know. We get them in a large, so it's 50 per container or so. We also have Flucker's vitamin D supplement. Calcium, yeah, Flucker's calcium powder. Which we use mainly for Puff because Puff's older than Clyde, so Puff needs it usually more than Clyde. As you can see, they're eating watercress. Obviously, you know, you want to look up what they can and can't eat, research it, you know, try them. I know one thing they definitely can't eat: avocado. Avocado will kill them, it's poisonous to them. But yeah, they love watercress. They absolutely love it. I mean, it's good too because it's high in calcium. So usually you don't have to put the powder on. But yeah, they both love it. It's one of Puff's favorite, one of Clyde's favorite. They're both just looking at me now. Clyde's calmed down since the last video. Thankfully. Actually pretty fast. It's kind of like one of those, they're very trusting. You know, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I gave him like 2 worms and fine, perfectly fine. Happy. So yeah, so that's what we give them is watercress. Obviously, you know, we mix up the vegetables and stuff like that, give them different ones. Cucumber we give them too. So alright with. Clyde likes blueberries, personally. Puff doesn't really like, Puff will eat blueberries, doesn't really care much for them. They don't really like strawberries. So yeah. You know, we also give them, obviously you can see they have their water and stuff. Their tanks actually need to kind of get cleaned out soon. So yeah, we also have a spray bottle because just, you know, a normal spray bottle that we fill with water. Because they do get dry. They can get dry, so you got to kind of spray them, or well, mist them every once in a while. So you don't have to really directly spray them, maybe just spray over them. So yeah. All their stuff we got at like, some of it we got at PetSmart, but some of it was at Petco too. So, you know, you kind of choose where you want to go. We got them at Petco, and it's alright, they're okay. He really likes the camera, I guess, Puff. I mean, he's very entranced by the camera. He just likes people talking in general, he looks at them. So you'll see that we have them set up with their basking spot and stuff. I forget what type of bulbs. Well, this is UVB. That's for that's the sunlight. That's the a heating bulb. But I forget the exact like wattage bulb we used. But as you can see, it's set up over his one spot where he goes to sit in the sun and, well, not in the, sit in the heat, bask, so he can bask. Sometimes they'll open their mouths up too when they bask to let off heat. As you can see, he really likes his tree that he has. I hate to tell him, but when he gets a bigger one, that tree's probably not going to support him anymore. Cause he's gonna, I mean, we put Puff in there when he was a little bit smaller than Clyde, definitely, and he got ginormous fast. So I'm sure once we put Clyde in to her, she'll get bigger too. We're kind of worried about stunt growth, but that's, I don't have the money to buy a 40 gallon right now. Neither do my parents, but we will soon enough. But yeah, so, you know, when you feed them and stuff, we also use crickets. They like crickets as well. So yeah, I mean, definitely, you want to mix it up sometimes between crickets and mealworms, superworms, whatever you want to call them, because that way they can hunt the crickets and get a little bit of, you know, exercise in and stuff like that. We actually don't get waxworms though. You can buy waxworms, but I wouldn't recommend it because what happens is they get addicted to them. Something in them, they really like the taste of it and they get addicted to them, and that's all they want to eat. They won't eat superworms, and they won't eat mealworms or crickets anymore. They just want those, and that's not healthy, you know. So maybe like once a month you could feed them one of those. We don't even feed them that. We don't use sand either. The reason being, the girl at Petco, my dad was like, so we can put in there. Now, she had said, you don't want to put sand in their tanks. She said, because you can, Obviously, you'll see it at Petco, but what was it? No, actually, I think it might have been PetSmart. Was it PetSmart? No, it was a Petco girl. She was like, she's like, I wouldn't put them in sand because she had like one the size of Puff, and so when she put him into the sand, what happened was he died. The lizard had died afterwards because sand can block up their cloaca and they can die because they can't go to the bathroom. Same thing with like insects. You have to be very careful what you feed them when you buy. Like, you don't want to constantly give them mealworms and stuff. You want to definitely split up because, you know, primarily mealworms, but, you know, because it can clog their cloaca to where they can't go to the bathroom, and then you have to take them to the vet or they can die. So, you know, that's a concern. So anything that's, like, you can buy, you know, different things obviously, but things with like a hard exoskeleton, you don't want to give them. I personally don't give them anything we find in the yard, just because neighbors spray with pesticide and I don't want them to get sick or anything. We do actually give them, oh god, what are they called now? Dandelions. You know, like the weed that's, you know, with the bright yellow head. Yeah, you guys, I'm sure, know. And we give them like the flower, the stem, the leaves. Sometimes, but we make sure when we take them in, they're definitely on our property, and we definitely clean them well. So, yeah, probably the feeding thing. I think he's trying to assert dominance over me right now. Don't really know what he's doing. Everyone's just chilling. So, yeah, that's just some eating information about them. Obviously, you can see they have their little caves. Clyde doesn't really use his. Puff used to sleep in his during, like, the winter and stuff, so we'll see. Sometimes they do go into kind of like a hibernation-like state where they won't eat. They'll eat a little bit. Don't, you know, it's not a big deal. If they do it all the time, then, you know, obviously it's a little worrisome. But for the most part, they pretty do what they do. When they shed, sometimes they'll eat their own their own skin. I know it sounds kind of gross, but it's okay. You can they'll be fine if they eat it. It's not a big deal. You know. So we always make sure that the thermometer is in between where they get their sunlight and where they get their heat. So that way you can make sure the temperature. Like Puff's right now is 110 almost, which is kind of hot. So I might actually put an air conditioner on after this. But I mean, it's not too. You just want to make sure it doesn't go over a certain temp. 110 is kind of okay. 100's perfect. Anything over, I would say like 110, you're gonna want to shut the light off, just because so that way it doesn't get too hot and they don't get burnt or hurt or anything. So yeah. Besides that, they're pretty happy. You know, we thought he had like some type of fungi they can get on him because his eyes are yellow, but it turns out his eyes are just yellow because that's the color they are. So yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Alright, bye.